my brother.
What it is?
What's up, my man?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Hey, man, thank you for being on the Cristopolis show. Thank you for going live with me right now.
Pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
You are such a talented individual, and everything you touch, you make better. And that's facts. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. I want to talk about your musical journey. You're such a multifaceted artist, right? And you're really good in so many different areas. So I want to make sure that we cover all of those things, and that people get to hear your story. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just give a little bit of background, I think, because it's worth getting out the way, being that you're my brother and that, we've known each other for such a long time. I met you years ago. We both worked at Tower Records.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you were the cool music cat. You were the supervisor, and you were a DJ, and it was amazing to me. You DJ downtown DC, and it was like super cool. And I was working on my first album, and you watched that whole process. You watched me from my little early demos at Depth Charge Records, shout out to Depth Charge, to the finished album and music video, and you were a part of all that, and you came on and help make it help actually like make it a really good project. So that's how we met, and then we started performing together, and then the rest is history, right? Like, we had such amazing chemistry on stage. Then came all the college shows and the booking agents and all of that stuff. We've had a long run. I don't want it to be over, so I'm not gonna talk about it in past tense. We've had a long run, but now I'm out in LA, and then you're still out in DC, and we perform less, I guess, than what we used to, especially with the pandemic kind of slowed things down and all that. So that's our story. That's kind of just real quick how we met. But I want you to get a chance to tell people about your story, your musical journey. So I guess let's just start. Like, when did you first get into music?
I blame my aunt for that. My aunt Lorraine for that. She well, I guess we can even go back further than that. I blame my father for that. My biological father, I should say.
Yeah.
Because he was a recording artist. He was heavy in the music, so I guess I got it from him.
What did you, was he like a singer?
Yeah, he was a singer. And my aunt was the one who just really just pushed it. So I blame her. She woke me up one Saturday morning to watch this TV show. And that was my first experience. First time seeing then Michael Jackson, young Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I saw him.
And you're like, that's what I wanted to do.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's just it in a nutshell, and how my musical journey started. The family would always make me sing for them, which I hated.
Yeah.
I hated doing it. But my mother sat me down one day, and she was like, well, if you can't sing in front of your family, how do you expect to sing in front of total strangers?
Yeah.
So that kind of, that got the ball, and kind of got me out of the process. So just in a nutshell, that's how I got into music.
Got it.
It's just been
in the house with the family, like in the house with the family at get-togethers and singing. But then you said that your dad was a recording artist. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a recording artist. He was a from what I understand, as legend would have, because I've never met him. I was an adopted child, so I never met my biological father.
Got it.
But legend has it, he was a pretty big deal in the Philadelphia music scene.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is genetic right here. You got that in your DNA.
He performed with Frankie Beverly and Mays before we knew who Frankie Beverly and Mays was. He had ties with Marvin Gaye.
Right.
Just really weird. My aunt could tell you more about him than I could.
Yeah.
They knew each other. But yeah, that's legend has it. he was a big deal in Philadelphia.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So then, you've got music, you've got talent, you've got music in your blood, and then, you're performing at home and stuff. Did you do stuff like in school, like coming up, like in high school, middle school? Were you like in the performing arts?
Yeah, I did. In high school, not so much middle school, but once I got to high school, I joined chorus and everything. So I guess I was the budding star in chorus, because all the solos, the teacher would always pick me.
Yeah.
And something I hated, like, because I'm like, look, I'm not the only one here who could sing. But she was just that taken by my voice. I guess at that age, she was like, yo, you're our lead guy. So that was all through high school. So yeah, high school talent shows, chorus, things of that nature.
Got it.
So, I mean, just those little things just kept fueling the fire of me to just continue on this journey.
So, because this is the part where it gets kind of like, I think for most creatives, they're like, this or that. But you've got multiple talents at which you excel. And when I met you, you were recording and you were starting to work on your singing career. But you had a well-established career as a DJ in DC. Like before I met you, when I met you, you were already like, when I would show up with you places, it was like, well, that's the DJ from State of the Union. Right, you used to perform, like these are landmark DC hip hop. Well, State of the Union was a landmark DC hip hop venue, and you were the DJ there, and you had carried heavy clout because you were a tastemaker, especially like real hip hop, right? Not what's on the radio. There's nothing wrong with that, but like you were part of an elite group of DJs that are the tastemakers of the Washington, D.C. hip-hop scene for a long time. Because, like, you were already, by the time I meet you, now we're talking, like, way back, you were already established as, the tastemaker of State of the Union. When did you get into DJing? Like, at what point does that happen? Because, you start singing at home at a young age, and that's in you, and you're a natural performer. And I can say that honestly from sharing the stage with you. You're spectacular. You look amazing and you perform amazing, and it shows that it's God-given talent. But you're a DJ also, and you've been DJing for a long time. So when did the DJing start?
The DJing started. I was in a rap group. I was a rapper.
I didn't know this, man.
So I was a rapper. I was in this rap group, and I'm gonna tell you guys this name. Hello, everybody. I see everyone in the chat room wants to say hello. I can't shout everyone out, but I'm gonna say hello to everyone. But this was in Maryland. I lived with my mother in Baltimore County, Maryland, and I was attending high school, Joppatown High School. It was myself and a guy named Greg Scott. We call him Scotty Moore, and another guy who was the DJ. His name's Aaron Moss. Right, so we were in this rap group, and our rap group back then, this is back in the 80s, right? Our rap group was called the Twins of Spin.
The Twins of Spin.
It's so bad, right? That was the name of our rap. That was the name of our rap group. So the DJing came in because this was my first time ever seeing. Like, I've heard DJs on record. Right?
Yes.
But I've never actually seen a DJ do what they did on record. Aaron Moss was that guy. Our DJ, he was that guy. He was in college. Right? He was just so cool to me. He was in college. That's my first time ever seeing a pair of Technique 1200 turntables.
Which were expensive, right?
So he was just the end all to be all, right? So I'm watching this guy, and I'm looking at him like, oh, that's so dope. So I remember he was my first exposure to DJing. I used to go over his house and practice. Whenever we didn't have practice, I would practice with him. And I wish I had my very first mixtape. My first mixtape was garbage. It was hot trash. Like it was. I wish I had it because I would play it for people and go, yeah, this is where I started.
Right, this is how it starts.
So this is how it started. So that's where the DJing came in from. So fast forward, the group breaks up because he's going to college and he's focusing on that, and I started traveling back and forth to Philadelphia. My cousin Yvette dated this DJ in Philly. Again, these names. This goes to show how old these people. His name was Disco Dave.
Right. Because that was fly back in the day. I mean, you remember Cool Disco Dan had all DC tagged up. So
right.
This is the way the names were. Those were the dope names in the 80s, right? Like,
exactly.
Cool, I guess.
Right.
Disco Dave.
Disco Dave. So again, another cool guy, had the equipment, he had all the records. He was just, so my cousin, every time I went to Philadelphia, I'd always want to link up with my cousins so we can go see him because we always hung out and I'd go see him.
Yeah.
So from Aaron Moss teaching me some stuff, and I picked up some stuff from him to Dave, I picked up things from him.
Yeah.
So at this point, this is when the DJ thing really started to take hold. I get back home to Baltimore County with my mom and everything, and I just want DJ equipment. I never had a chance to get DJ equipment with her. I got my first set of DJ equipment when I moved with my dad in Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia.
Got it.
But it's so weird that all this, even though I never had equipment of my own, I still picked up things from these different guys.
Yeah.
So once I got my own equipment and really had the chance to sit down and just really hone it, then that's when everything just really
got the hours. That's when you started getting the hours in.
Yeah.
You understood a mixer, how to fade the different, right? You understood all that stuff.
Yeah.
But this is, I've had the blessing of having you in my corner for many recordings, right? So not only live, the one thing is when you perform live, and then another thing is when you do studio work, right? And E is phenomenal in the studio. It's a different skill set, and I can basically take any song that I'll listen to and hear something cool like Subtraction or like an interlude, and get an idea for it and take it to E and be like, yo, can you do something like this with this for the song that we're working on? And you could do it. So like your skill set and your ability to do every type of scratch in the studio is spectacular. You could do, you could do every cut, right? Like Transformer, the crab, the cut, kicks, bass lines, like you could do it all, and it's so. But this is where you start getting the hours in, is when you first got that equipment at your dad's place. Got it.
So that's when it all started happening, and then oddly enough, I was with my dad for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm learning, the craft and everything. I got my first gig at a house party.
All right. So like your friends knew you DJ'd.
Yeah. And again, it was still so low key. It wasn't anything that I broadcast. It was just low key. So this young lady had this house party. A buddy of mine asked me to come DJ this house party. Very first time ever. So I DJ'd the house party. Thank God it was a success. Because I was nervous as hell because I've never played out. I was a bedroom DJ. That's what I did.
Vinyl.
Yeah, and I'm using vinyl. So yeah, exactly. So you got to carry all the vinyl around and all this other stuff. And from that, there was a teen. I got booked to do a teen club. I auditioned as a DJ for a teen club in Woodbridge, and oddly enough, I got it the first time out. I didn't think I did that well personally, but but the person did. He was like, "Yeah, you're great," So I held a Saturday night residency at this club called it's either Impressions or Sensations. They had two of them out in Woodbridge.
So that was your first kind of like DJing at a nightclub.
Yeah, that was my first time.
Club. What's that mean? Like 21 and young and under, or less than 21?
Actually, I was 21. It was like 13 to 19. Like 13 to 19. Maybe 20, but 21. No. So it was a and I remember this place because it used to be an old movie theater. So they gutted out this movie theater, so they had all this space.
Yeah.
And it was that doing that. That was cool. So that's how, again, just fueling the fire of being a DJ. And the DJ stuff is just it's all of it's combined into one thing, the DJing. And I used to try to keep these things separate once upon a time. I used to try to keep the DJ separate from the R&B stuff.
Yeah.
Until recently, when I say recently, I'm talking about maybe 3 years recent, maybe 4 years recent. I'm thinking to my bright idea, bling, a stupid. Put them together. That's your brand, right? That's what makes you you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And people have been telling me that all along. Like, yo, E, you should start out DJing and then come from behind the turntable and start singing. I said, well, first of all, I already do that with a guy named Cristopolis. That was his brainchild. Right? That was your brainchild when we did that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all that stuff just fuels keep
people away, right? Because like especially when we were in front of like a new audience, like when we were like on the road, and so they were unfamiliar with the show. And then I'd be rocking out, and we would never put it right at the beginning. We'd always put it kind of like 4 or 5 songs in.
Right,
keep that energy, right? And then you come out and you're so dope that basically it could be your show. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like
that would be my show.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? So you would come out and like just crush it, and then just amp it up. Like that was always like a trick we did, right? That was always kind of like part of the show. So, but yeah, man. So now when you perform, you don't shy away from all your talents. Basically, you've got a whole arsenal of talents, and you're like, well, why am I not showcasing?
I still haven't perfected the I still haven't perfected the way how I would incorporate that to my own personal live show. Yeah. Because when I do my live shows, I'm just focused on singing and all that. So I haven't quite figured out how to incorporate this.
Yeah.
Into just yet. Maybe, I don't know. It might happen. I know Jeannie Jones has mentioned it to me once upon a time before. And then every time someone mentions it, I'd start laughing because I'm like, yeah, I kind of already do that, but I just haven't figured out how to incorporate that into my own thing. So,
a DC legend.
Another DC legend. So, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, just all these things, all those things in my history just brought me to where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Just sticking with it and keeping at it through all the difficult times that I may have went through. And I gotta say this a quick sidebar. I gotta say that if it wasn't for you and our brother Enrique, I swear to God, you guys saved my life.
Oh my man! Shout out Enrique. What up?
Yeah, shout out to
Fat Cat Entertainment.
You guys saved my life. You came into my life at a point where things were kind of at a disarray. Things were kind of unhinging, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it was due to my immaturity and negligence. But you guys overlooked that and still brought me into the fold. To we gotta save this dude, right? And that's what you guys did, man. And I every day I'm thankful for every time I get up to get a chance to perform, do this stuff, whatever, anything I'm doing with music, I think about you guys, and I just thank you guys so much.
Thank you, my brother. Bro, you're an amazing talent. You're an amazing talent, and I didn't know you were so dope. That all kind of happened really gradually because we talked about how I met you was at Tower Records. We both worked at a record store together, right? Which is so cool. Record stores aren't even really around. That was like such a special time that we had that. We met there, and you were the dope DJ who DJ downtown. Then you watch my whole journey, right? You watch me like first recordings to the first album to you then eventually got on and like did some work with me on my first album. Then that comes out, and that first album had such a positive effect that we start getting all these gigs, right? So when I started performing all the time and all the college gigs, the college circuit was the big thing for us, right? And then it was, once we were on the road and like performing and our show came together and we had this chemistry that is special. Like you can't fake that, right? It's just, yeah, it's an incredible chemistry. And then after that, all the music that came after was always, how do we incorporate, and then your singing career really started blossoming. And then we did several tracks together where it was, and there's so much stuff we've never recorded. So many songs that we would perform, but we never recorded them. It's weird, right? And, I don't know if they'll get recorded. It's just, we're just creating so much that it was all about the live show and it being fly. And we perfected the art of, so many, and it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's a preference. For me, it seems a little bit almost like a rookie move, right? Where like people play their whole track, where we perfected the art of like the 1 minute, 1.5 minute, right? Songs that would bang into other songs, right? So the sets were so energetic. And then, like you would come in and we had the dancers and the band and everything was dope. But about your show and incorporating for your music and how to incorporate your turntable skills with a live band is probably going to be easier. If you're performing the tracks, it's a little bit kind of like you have to put the mic down and get behind the turntable. But if you had a band and they jammed over, like it went into a bridge, then that could be fresh, and then you jump back on the mic. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
That's definitely an idea.
Yeah.
But I just haven't figured it out just yet. But it's something that I'm constantly working on. Because I'm going to be stepping back out on stage again very soon.
Yeah, brother. Absolutely. People need to hear you and see you.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're taking us on this journey, right? So like your first gig was at like Sensations Impressions.
Right.
You're getting hours, right? So you got your gear, you're getting hours. You've got to because it's different to DJ for a club. Because you got to read the energy of the club, right? Which you do a great job of, keeping it engaged. So what comes after that? How, by the time I meet you, you're a legend already, right? Like you're performing, you're the DJ at State of the Union. State of the Union is the spot that like,
Yeah, that's the premier spot.
That, like people were afraid to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like to go and like be up in there and get on the stage. Because sometimes they let people get on the stage and all that stuff. So were there some other places before State of the Union? How do you get to that point where you're essentially kind of like the tastemaker or one of the elite tastemakers of underground hip hop in the DC area? What comes after like that, the Sensation gigs?
After the Sensation gigs, I start traveling back and forth to DC. But just to condense the story, I linked up with another partner of mine, another dope DJ still doing it, my man DJ Snow. Now Snow was the one who actually had the DC connections. So I'm hanging out with Snow, and we would come into DC and we would play at this spot on further down U Street called the Kaffa House. You remember the Kaffa House, the old reggae spot?
Yeah.
So I started. That's where my DC DJing journey started there.
Got it.
And
I remember
so we did.
Y'all were like the Vinyl Alcoholics or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. The Vinyl Alcoholics. These names, that's what these names are so funny.
Yeah.
The Vinyl Alcoholics. Me and Snow.
Yeah.
My man. Shout out to DJ Snow. So we're playing at the Kaffa House, and we're playing at a time because the Kaffa House is primarily known for dance hall reggae. That was their thing. They really didn't get into hip hop too much, so they kind of Snow knew the owner, so him and the owner was cool. So the owner kind of just threw us a bone. Hey, look, yeah, come out here on a Saturday during happy hour. There's really nobody here. You guys come and rock out. And he paid us for it. That was kind of cool. So he paid us for it, right? So one night, we leave Kaffa House. We're about to head back to VA, and we stopped off at State of the Union. Now, we stopped off at State of the Union because Friday nights used to be my brother DJ Tech One, and Dirty Hands would do Friday nights. They had Friday nights just lit, right? State of the Union. Yeah. So we get there, and we're kind of just sitting around, you doing whatever, and the bartender says to us, "Hey, you guys got your gear in the car? Our DJ can't show up tonight."
Wow.
So looking at each other like, yeah, all right, so State of the Union, hell yeah. So we
that check.
Yeah, what are the chances? Right? So we play State of the Union that night, we kill it. The owner at that time, Mike, he sees us. He's like, because we've known Mike for a while, he sees us, he's like, look, he said, I can't really promise you guys anything right now. He said, but let's do a rotating schedule with you guys. I want you guys here.
Wow. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So once we got the rotating schedule,
and Dirty Hands were like super well-known DJs. So like now you're in the mix with like,
yeah, they were and me and Dirty Hands talking about, because I see Dirty Hands because he owns Chicken here. So I see Dirty Hands all the time, and we talk about that, periodically from time to time. And it's so funny. Real quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Chicken and Whiskey on U Street. 14th Street. He's got two of them, one Navy Yard, one U Street. I remember shutting down one night, and they cut all the lights on, and I'm grabbing my gear and stuff, and I'm walking out, and I look on this wall. He has this wall full of nothing but flyers from old events, right? So I'm looking, and lo and behold, there's a Club 5 flyer with my name on it. Biggest Day, DJ E-Boogie, Oh So Fresh. I was like, yo, man. I kid you not.
Right, that's when you like,
when I saw that, Chris, my right hand on everything, I teared up, dude. I swear to God. I'm like, what in the world?
History there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It just showed me, because I'm a cat from Philly.
Yeah.
Right? and I wear Philly on my sleeve every day, all day, but DC is home. I've been here for over 35 years.
And everybody you're mentioning, but especially you, right? But everybody you're mentioning, you, Oh So Fresh, Dirty Hands, these are titans of the DC music scene, right?
Yes.
This is the DC music scene. These are the people that are, involved and have been for the last 20 years. DC nightlife, promotions, the venues, the music, the whole sound. These are the titans, right? To include you, right? Of DC music and nightlife. So he's got that wall with the flyers and that's
it was really wild, man. And Jeannie said, Dirty Hands was her guy for her show. She did, he did it for Jeannie Jones for a minute. So Dirty Hands, Tech One, Also Fresh, all those guys you named there, those guys were like titan. Well, they are titans to me to this very day.
Yeah.
For them to, RBI, all those cats, for them to embrace me like they did.
Shout out RBI.
Shout out RBI. For them to embrace me like they did. DJ Two-Tone Jones. I mean, I can go on and on. But these guys are the pinnacle of the DC scene, especially the underground scene. So for them to take me, to embrace me like they did was just like, that's crazy, So, but yeah, man, it was just a beautiful thing. So that's what kind of got me into the whole DC.
Got it. But that's how you wind up at State of the Union. Got it. And then fast forward maybe like a year or two, and then that's when I meet you.
Yeah, that's when we meet. Yep.
Got it. That's
Crazy.
dope. And then you never stop, right? Now you're like basically like one of the people that if you want dope music, right, is E available, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right? Basically, like is he available?
This is my life now. This is my life now, and I'm so blessed, and
Yeah, brother.
I'm so blessed to be able to do this because this is something. And I thought about this. I was thinking about an interview today, and I thought about an interview last night, and I wanted to make sure I said this. This is something that I prayed for.
Yeah.
I wanted to do music full time
Yeah.
at whatever capacity, and
it's not easy, right? It's not easy.
it's not easy at
be
all.
a full-time creative, to be, you know, and that's so beautiful, brother. For people, you know, it's different for everybody, right? We all kind of figure out how to like carve out a living, you know, being a creative. It's different for everybody. But, you know, for anybody listening, because what's dope about this is the recording then just goes on our pages, right? So people will be able to tap into this at any moment in time. So for people now, for people in the future, like if you had to give, you know, somebody advice on like, you know, they wanted to do something, maybe they want to be a DJ or they want to be a singer, they, you know, what advice would you give somebody on tips, maybe pointers on how to become a creative living off of the craft, making a living off the craft?
I would tell anyone who wanted to be a creative living off their craft is to make sure you do it because you really, really love it. Make sure it's your passion. Make sure it's something that you can't go a day, minute, second, whatever, without thinking about doing that. Of course, you know, you have your job to make a living because you got bills and stuff to pay. You know, that's understandable. But if you want to make a living off of being a creative, the first thing first, make sure that's what you really want to do. Don't think about the money up front. Because if you're jumping into this strictly for the money, I tell people get out of it right now.
Yeah.
Just stop what you're doing. Go get a regular job if you just want money. Because being a creative, there is no money right up front. And it comes with you honing your craft and putting yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. So, not to be long-winded, I would just tell anyone who wants to do this, make sure it's exactly what you want to do. Make sure it's your passion. You eat, sleep, and breathe this thing. Whatever it is, whether you're a chef, whether you're a DJ, artist, whatever it is you want to do, if that's your passion, you want to make a living off of that, you know, make sure that it's something that you really, really want to do, because it's not for the faint. It's not for the faint of heart. You know, we just came out of a pandemic. You know, that's another story in itself.
Absolutely.
Because I
tell you, dried up.
Yeah, because when it happened, I thought my life was over. I'm like, oh, damn, I gotta go get a job now.
Right.
I'm like, I gotta go, what am I gonna do now? But but I figured it out.
That's right.
I figured it out. And shout out to my brother-in-law, man, because he lit a fire under my behind, because he was kind of confused as to what was going on.
Yeah.
But it was just that was the type of thing that just kept me motivated. Like, look, man, I can't see myself at a cubicle again. I just got out of this thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm 5 years deep already out of the corporate world. I can't go back. So you know, this is it.
That's dope, man. That's good advice. I'm glad that
just like I said, if you want it, any creatives out there, man, just make sure that this is what you want.
Yeah.
You know, the money's going to come later. If it's money that you want, that'll come. Yeah. But just make sure that this is exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then once you do it, start putting things into motion. Start putting things into motion. Once you do that, once you take that first step, everything else is pretty easy after that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Your music, right? Your singing career. How many projects do you have out, and where can people find them?
I have, let me see, I have about 6 projects out right now, 1 full album, and the rest are singles.
Yeah.
I learned from you, by the way.
Thank you, brother. What's the name of the album for people, you know?
Yeah, and you can get all those things on my website, R&B Hip-Hop Rockstar.com. That website connects you to all of my social media, connects you to everything. Another trick I learned from you, by the way.
Thank you.
Another thing I learned from you. So that's where, Eddie, you can get all the music. There's more music coming.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys, man, where the cool thing of real quick, the cool thing about you have such a large body of work, right?
Thank you.
But everything you put out is quality material.
You
You put out so much music, but none of your music, in my opinion, is fresh. And I'll fight anybody on this. It's not just, you're not just throwing stuff out there to see what you're putting. You're one of those guys who you do it for the love of it.
Yeah.
Thank God the money's there now too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, that wasn't your sole purpose of starting the journey that you were on.
Nah.
And so with me, I'm the same way. I like quality over quantity. I have stuff in the chamber right now where I sit back and I listen to it, and I'm very critical of myself. And I sit back and I listen to it. It may have sounded good the day before, but now it doesn't sound that great.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't sound that great. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put it out. I'm gonna wait. So I have a few things that we're working on right now. They're done, but we're tightening them up, and I'm gonna present it to the world. It's from my Rise of an Artist series.
Yeah.
So
your one album that's super well known, that is, has like a lot of your hits on there. It's called The Prelude.
The Prelude, yeah, the beginning.
Right?
Yeah.
So dope. So people look up R&B Hip-Hop Rockstar, The Prelude, they can find that album.
Yep, they can find it.
Or
just go directly to my website. That's probably the easiest way. Go directly to the website. It's the easiest way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so The Prelude is the beginning, right? Do you have a name for the next album that you're currently working on?
Yeah, it's called Rise of an Artist.
All right. And so the singles that you've released, you're kind of developing a body of work. It's gonna make the Rise of an Artist, which is the next. You know what's so dope about you, and I just know you personally, so I know this about you. You love movies.
Oh man, do I love
movies, right? And
sweet
I think that's the way too, right? You know, Prelude, Rise of an Artist, it's kind of going somewhere, right? Your musical body of work plays itself out almost like the chapters of a movie, like a Tarantino movie or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool, man.
So it's like the Prelude, like you said, is the beginning of everything. That's the beginning of my journey. And Rise of an Artist is going to chronicle my evolution as an artist, as a writer, as a performer, and just like life experiences that I've gone through, whatever. And shouts to, again, Jeannie Jones and Nate Jolly and Noble Jolly for helping me put a few pieces of that together. Because I was doing a bi-coastal thing for like 6 months. Going back. Yeah, so now we're about to pick that back up again. We're about to go start doing that again. Especially now you're out there. I gotta come out there.
I'm waiting for you. I'm in the studio right now.
I see. Yeah. So, the Rise of an Artist is chronicling all of that stuff right there. It's something that's really important to me to make sure that this comes off as epic as I want it to be, because we're looking at tying visuals to it and everything. And plus, now, since we're older now, we kind of know our little way around this whole media thing a little bit more, your ideas tend to flow a little bit more now. And I wish that we were forward thinking back then. That we should have been recording all of those shows that we were at. You know, I wish that
we didn't capture. It's just
yeah. It's all right here. So so I'm getting a little better at that too, just capturing little things and tying those things into the music and stuff. So Rise of an Artist is the next project that I'm trying to bless the world with.
That we're all waiting for. So
is
there any like song or single that is out right now that you're pushing, or that's gonna come out soon that you want to plug?
Yeah, I have a few things out right now. You know, the beautiful thing about being an independent artist, and this is going out to any independent artist that may be watching this later on. The beautiful thing about being an independent artist is that your music never gets old. It never dates itself, right? So you can put out music, like we talked about the Prelude before. I still got people who haven't heard that record. We all know Prelude that's my very first one, but people hit me up about the Prelude and go, that's the most incredible thing I've ever heard, da 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 da. And I'm like, really? Because, you know, for us,
you're working on the next.
We're on to the next thing. We've been with it since the birth of it. So when we put it out, it's kind of, okay, it's out there. What do we do next? Everyone else, they pick it up later on. So with the Rise of an Artist, to answer your question, I have like 3 singles out from that already. One is hashtag Team Thick and Curvy.
Yeah.
The Way. And another one is Sex Language.
Okay.
Those 3 things are out right now. And again, people are picking those things up later than I'm getting more traction off of them now, which is a beautiful thing. And that's one thing that I had to learn myself, because like you said, we're artists. We're trying to get to the next thing, you know. That's nothing. We're trying to get to the next thing.
Creating.
Yeah, you know, constantly creating. So and again, all that stuff you can find on my website. My website is the easiest place to get those things. Oh, and I did a song for a compilation, a song called FIU.
Okay.
For a compilation.
That song is dope.
Thank you, man. It wound up being placed in a movie, an independent movie.
Yeah, what's the name of the movie?
The movie is called, it's been placed in 2 movies. One is Hands Up, and another one is called Queen's Court. Shout to Roosevelt Entertainment for tapping me for that. So yeah, you know, just a lot of crazy things going on right now.
That's really dope. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna have to check those movies out. I didn't know that. That's cool, man.
Yeah, those movies are interesting. I watched them. I watched them a few times, and it's kind of weird hearing your music in a movie. Yeah, you know, it's just really wild hearing it. I'm just kind of like, hey, that's my song.
That's me. That's really cool. That's really cool, my brother. So, could you talk a little bit about you are a member of the association that does the Grammys, right?
Yeah.
And you get the vote for the Grammys. You get the vote for the Grammys to select, you know, our different categories. Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah, I think that's fascinating. It's really dope that you are a part of that and that you do that. But that's one of the things I think is really cool, and that people don't know necessarily. They know you as, you know, the singer, performer, or DJ, but they don't actually know that you actually vote and for the Grammys and all that stuff too. Maybe give them a little bit of background on that.
That happened actually while I was recording the Prelude, and actually after I recorded the Prelude, Enrique and I sat down one day, because, you know, this guy's, he's always online, he's always finding stuff, you know what I mean? Enrique right. He should
call a network. You know,
right.
That brother, he makes things happen.
Definitely. So he finds this thing about the Grammys. He said, hey, look, you know, if you pay $100, I think it might be more now, but when I did it was $100. So you pay $100, and it's for the year. That's the coolest thing about it. So you pay $100, you could be a member of the Grammys, the DC chapter. So I'm like, really? So we get all the information.
Have different chapters.
Yeah, different chapters.
Yeah.
So I you know, but even though you may be affiliated with one chapter, you still have privy like to any of the parties that may go on in any other cities or whatever. You just got to let them know that you're a member of a specific chapter, and you're pretty much in. So I sign up, pay the fee, become a member. When I first became a member, I wasn't a voting member at the time.
There's criteria. There's criteria to be a voting member.
So to be a voting member of the Grammys, you have to have, I believe, like 13 sound recordings under your belt.
Got it.
So when I joined, the Prelude was out. I was just one song shy of the criteria to become a voting member.
Because there's 12 songs on the album?
Yeah.
Got it. So you're one song shy.
One song shy to become a voting member.
Music.
Right. So I'm like, oh, all I need is one more song? I got that right here. I felt like Prince at that point, going into my vault. Would you need a record? I got one for you to take.
Right. Old friend.
Right, exactly. So, I submitted enough, released another record, and that put me in the running to become a voting member. So that's an interesting process. It's just like any other process. You get your ballot, you see who's on the ballot, and you vote, send it in. That's it. Being a voting member is cool, but I don't want to give people the impression that it's so cool where you and a whole bunch of other people are in this big room, like this Oval Office or something. You guys are, so Eminem was up for best rap album. Yeah, it's not like that, dog. You get your ballot, you vote, and you send it in, and you go from there. But it does come with
So I didn't realize this, but the Grammys then are essentially they're awards where the winners are selected by their peers. Because to be a person who votes to select, the winners of the Grammys, you have to meet a criteria to be one of those people. But the criteria is that you yourself have to be an artist with a body of work that's available. And there's minimum requirements of how well established as an artist you yourself have to be, and only those people get to vote. That's really interesting. Got it.
I think there's other criteria if you're not an artist, but I don't know too much about that. I just know
you're an artist, so you don't know about that.
Yeah. So whether you're an artist, producer, whatever, as long as you have the required body of work out there as a member, then you can be listed as a voting member of the Grammys.
Got it. So people know that if they want to listen to your music, and they wanna find you online, your different social media, they should go to your website, which is R&B Hip-Hop Rockstar.com, right?
Yes.
But if you're in the DC area or traveling through the DC area, where can they find you, DJing on a regular basis? Is there are your residencies at the moment where people can kind of see you on a regular basis?
My residencies is at a place out here called Never Look Better. That's right by the convention center.
The
DC Convention Center. Also the Two Chicken and Whiskeys, the one on 14th Street, and we got a new one over here at Navy Yard. I'm going to be at the Navy Yard tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for the Nats game. So there's there, and then there's other spot dates here and there, like Decades is another place that I'm at periodically. And I get booked for like a lot of private events. I just did a yacht party last night.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah, I'm on a boat, baby. It was great. So shouts to my girl Josie Wilkins who hooked that up for me. So I was doing that last night. And I live stream all the time. The pandemic got me into.
You're always working.
Yes, I'm always out. But again, it's just something I got to keep feeding the monster, man. I got to keep doing it because. And shouts out to my whole. I'm a part of this brand new group of people, of other creators, other DJs. CTV, Creative Stream Live. My man headed by my guy named Sean Quest and my girl DJ K Nikki and Char J. Beautiful group of people, man. They came into my life at a time where I didn't know, during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I didn't know what was happening. So they came in and really set things in motion for me, and they actually helped me evolve more as a DJ, because now I'm around other DJs.
Yeah.
We have this exclusive clique, and we're just so cool together. So yeah.
Yeah. So what do you stream? Do you live stream DJ every day, or is it like certain days, and like at what hours, and where can they find you for that?
Certain days. I live stream on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which is like 1 p.m. your time.
Yeah.
It's a show that I have called The Platform, and it showcases brand new music and independent R&B and hip hop.
That's dope.
So I curate a large body of work, in the independent realm mostly, but I play major artists too, as long as the music is brand new. They got something brand new out, I'll showcase it. But I really focus in on the independent artists, because we're independent creators, and I want to always make sure the independent artist gets the shine that they deserve, that the radio doesn't even, radio won't even touch. So I provide that platform for them. So that's on Tuesday.
If an independent artist wanted to send you their music for consideration to be, played on your show, where would they, reach out to you, or where do they send that to?
They would send it to Best Kept Secret 1976 at gmail.com. For anyone who's seeing this on the playback, Best Kept Secret, just like it sounds, 1976 at gmail.com. Send me your music. I'll preview it. I gotta warn you, I don't play everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so please make sure your mix is tight. Please make sure everything is tight. Once again, shouts to Jeannie Jones, because I'm an A&R for her company, Ready Set Impact. So she sends me a lot of stuff too. And she's the same way. Make sure it's Jeannie Jones. Make sure it's tight. Don't give me no stuff.
Here. Jenny, brand. You gotta make sure that's right.
Yeah, make sure it's right, because it's gonna be played over the radio. So make sure the mix is tight and everything. It doesn't matter if it's clean or dirty, but clean is definitely good, because I can use that, and we use that to gain marketing dollars and stuff like that. So yeah, The Platform, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. And then there's Thursday, I do like a virtual happy hour for everyone. Just kind of come in, party, hang out. That's at 5 o'clock. Hang out, unwind after a long day at work, that sort of thing. That's the kind of vibe that I give. And then Fridays, like right before we got on here, I was doing a show called The Rush Hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's broadcasted simultaneously on radio, on CTV radio, and on live stream. So I'm trying to like double duty at that point.
I gotta tell them the story of when I just hit you up before we went live on here, we do like a practice, right? So I try to, whoever I'm gonna go, have on the show, I try to do like a little practice so that if there's any issues, we could kind of figure them out before we go live. So I write E and I'm like, yo, let's do a practice real quick. And he's like, I'm in the middle of my show, just give me a second. So then he's like, all right, I'm ready. So we go into the practice, which is like a little private. It's this, but it's private, right? Nobody else can see it. And so he's in his, he jumps on the mic and he's hyping it up, and then he jumps off, and then he's like doing the practice thing with me. He is the hardest working man in show business. I don't care what anybody says. You're probably doing like 3 other things right now.
Look, and I'm sure that everyone that was watching on live stream was wondering, why does he have his place marker up there? Like, what is going on here?
Because I had a way to get ready for the next show.
Right. So I had my place marker. I had my rush hour place marker that was done by K Nikki up there. Right, that was running. And then I would hop back on live real quick to show that I'm still there. Then I would put another place marker, which is the CTV app reel. So there's this reel that keeps going, right? So I'm pretty sure they were looking at that like, what is going on here? Like, But you know, but this is what we were doing. We were going
We
back and
went too
forth.
long, you know what I'm saying? It was just to make sure. But I was just like, of course he's doing 100 things because you like that. You know what I'm saying? You're never not working. You know, and it's dope, and that's why you've been so successful, and that's why there's so many people who want to be creatives, but there aren't that many who can make a living off of it. And you have for a while figured out how to do that, and so had to you on that, my brother. One thing I want to talk about that I think I would appreciate, like if I didn't know, how we've collaborated like the last couple of years, where we haven't actually been in the studio together, but we've still managed to make really quality stuff. I did a song with Casual. Remember the song I did with the rapper Casual from Hieroglyphic? Shout out Casual. And the beat was really like hard. Like I sent him some beats, right? And he picked, because he's Casual, he picked like a real battle rap vibe beat. And so he does this verse, he does this thing, and then I mix it and I had my verse, but I knew it needed you. I knew it needed a DJ on it. So I sent it to E, and so what I wanted to talk about is how we've been working, right? So basically, like, I would reach out, what I do now is I send E everything with the gaps in there, right? So it's kind of like Casual, my verse, the two verses, and then where E's gonna go, right? And then I'll send that to you, and then I'll kind of talk to you about, like, I hear something kind of like this, probably, some cutting like of the words, and then why don't you tell us like what you do, because you receive it, and then you actually, because you always, no matter what I give you, because Casual's verse on that song is bananas. When I received Casual's verse on the song that I did with him, it's called Magnificent. So if you search Cristopolis Magnificent, and it's featuring Casual, that song and the scratching on that song is you. When I sent it to you, it was just the beat and the raps. What do you do? What is it like? So I send that to you over like a file sharing. I send it to you over like you send it, right? And so you get the beat, you get the vocals, and you have a reference, right? So I send you different pieces in different ways, and then when you receive it, what's your process?
Well, once I receive it, I listen to, because you always send me like you said what you send me. So I listen to the track, and I just kind of sit with it for a couple of hours, and I have it playing over and over. Pretty much how my songwriting process goes. I listen to the song over and over, and going off of what you said, what you hear, I look for those sounds. Like, I forgot there was one song that we did, and you said, I just kind of hear a guitar riff sound, nothing really, and I can't remember what song it was, and I just look for that particular sound, or at least something close to it.
Yeah.
And I go ahead and I just kind of fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
My whole process when I do cuts for people is that I always try to make sure that I don't ever want to outshine. I want to be a part of the musicians, right? Because I'm a musician at this point. I don't want to be in the forefront. That's why I don't like to cut over vocals. Like if you're rapping, I don't like to really cut too much over vocals. Unless you say, okay, when I say this, add a little something there. I may do a little something there like that. But for the most part, I want to be, with the bass player and the drummer and the keyboardist. I'm in the background with those guys.
The turntable's an instrument.
Yeah, that's right. The turntable is an instrument. So that's my lane right there. I've had people say to me, other people that I've done cuts for, yo, E-Man, just go off. And I'd be like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Busy.
Right. You just get busy, just do it. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Now, it depends. Like, I've done it with you, like at the tail end of songs, because you're done rapping at this point. You know what I mean? You said what you had to say, your point is made.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of
taking the song out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're taking the song out. But that's pretty much my process. I just sit back, listen to it, and judging by everything that you want, I'll go ahead and I'll pick out those sounds. I have to have a library of sounds, and I learned this from DJ Premier. Just get these library of sounds, and then I just kind of put it together from that point. and we just roll from there.
So funny that you mentioned DJ Premier, because I was about to mention him myself. And so, have you noticed how like Kanye West, who's an incredible producer, will actually bring DJ Premier onto a song he produced to have him do the cuts? So DJ Premier has like established himself as essentially the go-to guy in hip hop. Like if you got the budget, right, the person you go to get your scratching done at the highest level of the game is Premier. But he developed that over his work in Gangstar and then the production he did for other people, because he knows how to, like, you know how he'll take like little phrases and things from different songs to make the hook, right? Nas is like, right, and he takes like the different, you know, parts is like of different Nas songs and other people.
Right.
You do that. You are the DC DJ Premier.
Oh man, come on now.
There's two different skill sets, and you've mastered them both, right? One skill set is how to move the crowd, how to rock a party, right? When you are working at one of your residencies and it's, you know, Thursday or Friday and people are coming to spend money and have a drink and have a good time, your musical knowledge, you know, like of music that's been out, like history, and then your tastemaker abilities of what's hot right now and stuff that you may not even know about, but that you know about, because that's what a DJ traditionally would do. They would break records, right? You know, you are an incredible live rock the house DJ, but the skill set the Premier does of in the studio and being able to create choruses and use the turntable as an instrument that is very unique to hip hop sound, right? And in a lot of ways, you know, I'm not sure if I'd say it's a dying art, but it is used less and less and less than like the golden era, right, of hip hop, like the 90s. Right. You've mastered that, but which is like, you're just such a well-rounded DJ. And
thank you.
Yeah, those turntables love you, brother, because you can make them talk. You can make them things sing.
I love them too. We love each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just the, if I could get technical, but just real briefly, it's almost like music with me is almost like Neo in the Matrix. It's like I can kind of just close my eyes and just see, you know, I don't know, musical notes, numbers, or whatever. I mean, when I say I live, sleep, eat, and breathe this, I do this. Like, if music were to be abolished today, I would literally die. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love music that much, and it's not just hip hop or whatever. I love all kinds of music. So you know, doing the stuff with you and everything, it really just comes easy for me because I love it so much. I think that's what kind of sets me apart from anybody else, I guess, if I'm saying that right. You know, I don't want to try to come off like I'm better than anybody, but you know,
but what's unique about you, right? Like,
no, I love it. I just love doing it. I you know, that, I mean, I can't put it in. I try to put it into words as best as I can. I guess I could show you better than I could tell you.
Dude, you're such an amazing. Anybody, whoever needs any scratching, any singing, hit up E. This brother is an incredible DJ and singer, and he does great work. Because we've been doing it for years now. During our first records, like, we would go to the studio. Like, you remember, you'd have to bring like your turntable and all that stuff. We take it all up to Wise Studio at Deb Charge. You know, shout out Deb Charge and Team Demolition and all those cats. You come to the studio with all your gear, and then for the last several years, you don't even have to come to the studio. Well, the studio, like, now I got the studio, so I do everything, and then I send it to you. and then you work out on it, and you send me back a masterpiece, and then like I then engineer it and do a little bit more for the final product. But we've been working like that for some time. What's really cool about that is that then opens you up to the whole world, right? You can actually work on projects for anybody, anywhere, and you're that good that whatever your song you're on, whether it's as a DJ or as a singer, you're gonna make it that much better. You know what I'm saying? So
I try. I just my whole goal is to, make everybody shine. It's not just about me. It's about, if I'm on it and you trust me enough to be a part of it, then I'm gonna do what I have to do to try to help take that project to that next level. You know what I mean? Because I care about it like you care about it. And, man, that's just something that I've always been like, and then working with you, the chemistry that you and I have, it's almost as if we don't really have to say too much, especially when we're in the same room together. Like, we don't really have to say too much. We can kind of give each other a look like, you got it. Then we just kind of just go do the damn thing.
I got one more I want to talk about. I just what I'm saying, we got like so many stories to tell, but there's one thing I want to talk about because it was one of those moments that blew my mind. I had this beat, Static Selector. It's a dope beat, but then I heard this other track that was by Papoose. And I don't know who did it. I'm not sure who it was, who produced it, but it was a Papoose track, and they had this sound in there, and the sound was almost like some sort of like a instrument, but it reminded me of something. So I hit you up, and I said, "Yo, can you do a transformer scratch on a Morse code?" A Morse code. Remember that? I was like,
I remember.
Crazy thing. I was like, can you do a transformer scratch on a Morse code sound over this beat? And I sent you the Static Selector beat. And you came back, which is the track. That track is called Forever. So if you look up Cristopolis, Forever, I did it with a rapper named T-Time, who was actually on the show a few days ago, who's platinum selling artists in Latin America. And dude, what you came back with on that song is some of the best scratching I think I've ever heard, period. I'm just honored that it's on my record, and that we worked on it together. But I basically I had this beat, and I said, this sound would sound good on this musical bed. I had the idea from Papoose where he used these sounds in a certain way on that song. I sent it all to you, and you came back with some next level. You made that song, dude. You made it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. That was fun. When you said to do that, I was like, oh snap, okay, cool. I think that was probably like one of my very few get busy moments at that point. Busy on that one, but that was cool. And I was just listening to 1995 earlier today. That's another one of my favorites. That record is very near and dear to my heart. I love 1995.
That's good boom bap.
Yeah, that's good boom bap stuff. When you sent it to me, I was like, oh, he wants me to go crazy on this one. This is nuts. The kick drums. I was like, yo, it sounds like it was produced on the SP1200. That's how boom bap that record is.
I think it was. Yeah. That's a cat named Collective, and his drums are nuts. His drums, great. Like, he makes the most incredible drums. Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
My bro, I want to ask you a couple of other things before we wrap.
Okay.
Future projects, future plans, things that you got that you're projecting out, anything that you want to share on that, on that note.
Yeah, just everyone, please be on the lookout for Rise of an Artist. It's a body of work that's very important to me. It's near and dear to me. It's like a continuation of the Prelude, and we're going to have some really special things coming along with it. We got some visuals coming along with that. There's 3 songs out from it already that you can get, kind of give you a little taste of what the whole body of work is going to be like. It's going to be an EP. I was going to do a full album. I said, nah, let's hit him with an EP. Yeah. But I want this EP is like you said earlier on, it's going to tell a bit of a story. Mm-hmm. The song Rise of an Artist itself tells a bit of a story. Shouts to my girl Asia Major, who sang on the song with me, and Noble Nate Jolly, who produced the track. So we're going to have some visuals connected to it and everything. The Prelude. I'm working on a documentary
album at this point now.
Yeah,
classic album.
Yes, the classic album. I'm working on a documentary to the Prelude.
Ooh.
And shouts to my man Charlie Black, who's helping me do that. So we're piecing some things together. There's going to be a lot of reenactments, so to speak, because again, I wasn't forward thinking. Yeah. You know, being in the studio recording that project. So there's going to be a lot of reenactments, but the stories are definitely here. And that's the album that officially made me an award-winning independent artist, that album. It's so wild to listen to that album because from the opening track, the intro, I recorded the intro at your old house in DC with Heather.
Wow.
Heather engineered that. She came up with the sounds. She came up with the background sounds of people in the cafe and everything. And I went on to set my little introduction, you know, to the Prelude. That was her.
The old house in Columbia Heights, in Uptown. Wow. Yeah. That was a creative house. That was a dope house. That's what we did. Pickup artists also.
Yeah. Sure did. And it was so cool. That session was so, and this is why the session was so cool, because it was cool to see Heather. Because you weren't, I don't even think you were there. You were somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see Heather take the reins like that.
Yeah. She taught me to engineer. Right?
So I'm watching her.
With creativity. Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Heather like she's, okay, now you stand over here. And I'm just watching. I'm just like, wow. And I'm just in awe because, again, you know, real briefly before we get out of here, again, Heather and Rebecca were the ones who taught, and I'm pretty sure taught you about the whole marketing game. Because remember Heather used to come with this big bag, like whenever they had shows, they had this big bag. They had stickers, they had pins, they had T-shirts. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? They had everything. I'm thinking to myself,
beautiful, right? So like they had all this good looking swag.
I was like, I think they really made me feel like I'm not doing jack. This is crazy. None of this stuff.
You gotta up your game.
You gotta up my
game. You want people like that. You want those people around you because they make you up your game.
Right. I was like, they're killing me out here. I don't have none of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just go and sing or wherever. That's it. They sing, they selling stuff. I'm not doing none of this stuff. So they taught me a lot.
Selling stuff.
Doing nothing. I'm a bum compared to those guys, but yeah,
they out here getting money.
Yeah, crazy, right? So, but yeah, that intro, Heather really did a good job with that. So,
that's cool.
The Prelude. So we're doing a documentary of that. That's coming out. And then right now I'm DJing wise. I DJ for Priest the Nomad.
Yeah,
the legendary artist Priest the Nomad.
What a legend in the. I got a story about Priest that he don't know this because he didn't know me. But before I recorded Metamorphosis, right before my first album, before like I was really on the scene as a hip hop artist, you know, when you just freestyling with the homies, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was doing. It was Adams Morgan Day Fest, which we headlined one year. Like years later, we headlined that festival. But back then, I wasn't really performing out there. And you know, hip hop's really interesting because it's such a like almost all the main stuff is hip hop related nowadays. But when we were coming up, it was odd to see like a hip hop act at the Adams Morgan Day Festival. And I remember going to it back when I was like maybe my first year of college, and I knew his name from like State of the Union and like them old flyers from back in the day. Black Indian and Infinite Loop and Head Rock and Team Demolition and all these cats, and he's from this era, and that's before, slightly before my era, right? And I saw his name at the Adams Morgan Day Fest, and I went down to the stage and watched him perform on one of the stages. I thought it was so dope and hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Hard to stand up there, because being an MC is really vulnerable, right? Like, you get on, you don't have a band, right? You got to get up there with your balls and your wit, and through swagger and charisma, be the MC that engages and moves the crowd. You know, he was doing it like a master, and I watched him and was like, bro, I hope I could do that one day. And lo and behold, years later, we would be the headliners of that festival. But, like, you know, and he doesn't know that I was like a young dude on the sidelines watching him, hoping to one day do that. You know what I'm saying? So his body of work and that that remake he made of what's that track called? The Red Alert joint.
That's a while back. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But he just made a track. I think Team Demo did the beat for it, because they.
We talking about one with DJ Cool.
That's what I'm talking about. That joint hits. What an amazing idea! That was such a dope idea to take that track and modernize it, and he kills it on it. I mean, yeah. So that's dope. That's dope.
That thing is getting played in arenas and stadiums now during basketball games and stuff right now, you know. So, yeah, so I'm pretty sure when Free sees it, he's going to be very appreciative that you said that.
Absolutely, man. He's a legend. He's a DC hip-hop legend.
That he can tap me I'm looking at him like, what? And look, and so real quickly, I know we got to get out of here, but when he asked me to do this, he called me on the phone. He asked me, he was like, yo, E, man, you know, I see, you know, and again, to all the creatives watching this right now, if you're out and if you're putting yourself out there and you're doing your thing and you're feeling like you're not getting the views or the recognition or the accolades you deserve, don't worry about none of that stuff. I guarantee you, somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching. I guarantee it. They may not say anything, and I get it all the time. I see people on the street, yo, E, I saw that, and in my head I'm thinking, why do you like it when you saw me post it? Why do you know? Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, he calls me up and he asked me, you know, if I could be his DJ, and I'm looking at the phone like, dude,
you preach.
In my head I'm thinking, dude, me? You know R&B?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, there's so many other cats out here who can do this thing. Why me? In my head. But I'm like, bro, yeah. And, you know, so it's a good mix, man. I fell into it, and we kind of fell into it pretty seamlessly. He's a gentleman. His birthday is the day after mine, so we kind of fell into it pretty seamlessly. Yeah, it's really interesting, but I have a great time with it, man. So that's, in a nutshell, that's all the things that I'm doing right now. It brings me to this point, just to be happy and blessed to make a living off of this.
Yeah, bro.
You know, and if I could drop one more gem for all my creators out there, if you're looking to make a living at this, you don't need a huge fan base to do so. All you need is, like I said, your passion, and you just need a core group of people. I'd say anywhere from 500 to 1,000, but probably even less than that. But if they're your hardcore group of people who rock with pretty much anything that you do, that's it. That's all you need, because those people are going to share everything you post.
Yeah.
They want to buy everything that you put out. They want to come to the shows every time you do a show. That's how you make your living. That's how you do it. And it took me a while to realize that, because just like any other artist, you know, we jump into this thing, yeah, I want to get signed to a record deal, I want to do this, I want to do that. You don't need it.
Yeah.
you know, especially in the independent realm. So stay independent, stay passionate,
Yeah.
you know, shut out all the white noise, because you always want to get a bunch of people say that you can't do it.
Yeah.
I still got people saying that I can't do it, and I've done it 20 times over already.
You've been doing it.
I've been doing it, but they still say I can't do it, right? So shut all that out and just continue to push on to all of my independent creatives. And I love you guys so much, Chris. I love you.
Thank you, Mom.
Heather,
Brother.
I
Thank
love
you
you.
so much.
Everyone in the chat room, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. This has been a great ride, and we're not done yet. I'm talking about you, Chris. We ain't done yet.
The best is yet to come, my brother.
Wait till I get out to LA. It's a wrap.
The best is yet to come. So that's dope, man. You dropping gems. You dropping gems. I got something to share related to that. You know, all of the college gigs that we did for all those years, you know, the way that came about was everything that you're just saying, which is I focused on the craft. I got the hours in, right? And that booking agent found me. That booking agent actually, I didn't have to do anything except have everything tight. And then he actually contacted me and said, hey, could you do this? He did a tryout show, right? And it was in Pennsylvania, at University of Pennsylvania. And he was like, can you do this show? And it pays this much, right? And it was like something like 2 G's or something like that. And I never made no 2 G's off. I was used to like $200, $200 for like a, you know what I'm saying, right? And by the time you pay everybody, you know what I'm saying, you made $50, right? And it was like 2 G's, something like that. And I was like, whoa. And then that's when we went on, you know, that 10, 15-year ride of nothing but college gigs. But, you know, but I was ready. We had all those shows that we had done, and we had a tight set, and we had, you know, but he had a need, and I was able to fill that. So kind of piggybacking off what you were talking about, you got to be passionate about it so that you become a master at your craft. And somebody needs what you do, and you just got to be ready for when you know, what's that saying? Luck is when opportunity meets preparedness.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yo, so before we take off, I want to ask you a few things. Just kind of like this occurred to me, but so we want to give it a shot. Maybe because I know you so well and I'm so comfortable with you, you know. But like, I want to just ask you like some random things, just kind of interesting, right? The like, you know, favorite color.
Blue.
This might be hard, so I'm gonna say top 3 favorite artists in each genre.
Oof. Favorite artists: Prince, Michael, Jay-Z.
Woo. Favorite DJ.
Favorite DJ. I'm gonna have to say Jam Master Jay. God bless him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say him. It's a real close tie between him and Jazzy Jeff, but Jam Master Jay was the one that I saw him on stage. I'm like, yo, that's just forget about it. Yeah.
I know the answer to this, but we're just gonna get it. We're gonna get it documented. Favorite football team.
You already know, baby, Phillies. I'm the Eagles. The Eagles.
Favorite basketball team.
Sixers.
All right. And let's see. Let's do one more. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I did the first episode of these. We spent like 2 hours talking hip hop, right? But we were talking top 5 that are alive, right? And you're a tastemaker. Your knowledge of hip hop is as good or better than anybody I know. What's your top 5 that are alive?
Top 5 that are alive: Rakim, Jay-Z, Big L, Black Thought, and man, one more, Redman.
Redman gets slept on.
Redman is crazy.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
And
He's phenomenal.
highly active.
Yes.
And still highly active.
Birdman is still doing it.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
And doing it at a very exceptional level too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My bro, I want to do this again soon.
Yes, yes. Next time we'll do it live in the studio together. You know, I'm gonna put this out there to you, man. I don't know where you are in the performance realm or whatever, if you're dealing with any other booking agents, but I'll fly anywhere you need me to be, brother. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
I'll hop my ass on a plane quick.
Let's do it.
You need me where? I'm there.
Let's do it. All right, my brother. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is fun.
It was fun, my man.